Welcome back. We're finishing up Economic Development Week here. We're on site with Bart Hyatt, one of the owners in A&K Earth Movers. And when something needs to get done, you got to move earth. And so Bart's family has been doing it since 1957 in our valley. As we spoke with this morning earlier with Aaron West and Nevada Builders Alliance, and we're busy. With the growth, with the economic upturn that we're seeing here in our region, in northern Nevada, and carrying out to Fallon, there are a lot of challenges. Housing was one that we talked about, and the opportunity there for developers. Bart, what are some of the challenges you're seeing as you move dirt as we continue to development here?
Well, what we're finding is with the upswing is there is a real problem with help. And a lot of that's caused by a lot of people who have left the area. And so we're doing a lot of searching to try to bring people back. The jobs and the opportunities are here, but you've got the challenges, number one, with the housing. So we actually bring people in from out of state to come to work, and one of the problems they're finding out is that they don't have a lot of choices for where they're going to live. A lot of them have to try to find some sort of a rental property and then try to use that short term to try to make a move into something else. The other thing is the Reno area, the housing prices are way up compared to some of the outlying Fernley and Fallon areas. Fallon doesn't really have anything to offer as far as new homes or even rentals, and I haven't looked myself personally, but from what they tell me, they're few and far between. And so it makes it a real struggle. Not only are you short help, the ones that you try to lure to the area in the community can't find places to live. And so it makes a burden for them, especially if they're trying to bring a family in and they're already settled into another state. They need to make sure that the housing and the schools and all that fit. The schools and that part of it, we don't get too much feedback. So that's a very good compliment to our school district and the community. But the problem we have is, where are we going to put these people? The projects like we have right now, we've got one at the Navy base for Fallon Naval Air Station, and they're actually building their own housing for the people that come from the military, because the community and the local developers haven't stepped up. And one of the reasons they haven't, some of it is because they don't have the help. Some of the other reasons, I think, is they're kind of afraid from what happened the last time. But kind of as you and I both know from the business meeting we went to last week, we're way far off of the bubble effect that we had back in 2008 and 2009. So that's really the farthest thing should be from anybody's worries. But our community does have some areas that are ground ready. I mean, no dirt, no asphalt, no paving, no curb and gutter or anything. They're ready to build on if you can get a builder in there to take a little bit of risk and try to get something going. I have had developers contact me that have some things going in the community, and they're at either the approval or planning stage, and so it's a positive thing there, as long as they don't run into too much feedback or too much what I want to call it, opposition. Okay, because you'll always have opposition from growth. Somebody's going to come in and say, well, I don't want that subdivision next to my place, or I don't want this, or I don't want that. And communities can't survive without growth.
Absolutely.
And you don't have to have growth that goes unplanned. You need to make sure that you got planned growth that goes in the right areas that fits the community and the infrastructure. So I think it's very possible for Fallon really to make a move here in the next 1 to 2, 3 years and beyond, because I don't see an end in this in sight from what I'm seeing, but I can only usually judge and see down the road, 3 to 5 years.
So if we can get past the challenge of adding housing, which Aaron actually pointed out a number of advantages that we have, a number of opportunities. We can have people, you can put them to work. We do that, as you've mentioned. I mean, we have to do it in a responsible manner. We have to do it. It involves the community, but you're absolutely right. I mean, as a business, if you don't grow, you die. And as a community, if you don't grow economically, people-wise, we'll suffer for it. So we need to embrace it, but have that balance of the responsible nature of it. But if we can house these people and you will continue to have projects. You'll be able to put them to work with all kinds of stuff. What else do you do? I know obviously you have a regional. You have projects all over northern Nevada. You work with the base. You work with locals, but you have projects in other counties as well.
Right, and the thing is growth for a community really adds a lot more money to the tax base. Because it's all about taking a piece of property that doesn't have any value, developing it, turn it into property that's increased value, appraisals go up, there's more tax revenue, and it helps take care of the roads and the infrastructure that's in the community. We work pretty much, I call it the triangle, which is Gardnerville, Reno, excuse me, Carson City, Fallon, that area there. And there's plenty of work for us to do and not leave that area. Okay, we do search out. We've got a project going out the other side of Austin, a geothermal project. We put together a bid for a project in Alturas, a Caltrans job. We ended up not going after that project because we couldn't man it.
Right.
Okay, it was going to be a 2-year job, and it would take probably 25% of our workforce that we would have to commit for 2 years. And we would go up in Alturas, which is 230 miles from here, approximately. We would try to hire local for maybe a half of the workforce, which we could do that. But right now, the projects that we have, you take Austin and Hawthorne and Gardnerville and Reno and Truckee. We've got a project going in Truckee, California, which is not very far from Reno. Fernley. Big subdivisions in Reno, and Fallon just needs to get into that market because it's going to help the businesses because they're having a tough time to grow because they can't find the help, and in turn that will help boost the housing market, which will also bring more people to the area and increase the tax base. And one thing about construction jobs is they're not low-paying jobs.
No.
And a lot of people didn't understand that. When I was in high school, there was a lot of agriculture or what did they call it? Wood shop, metal shop, all those types of things. Vocational classes. Well, we don't have a lot of that anymore. And those kinds of people were the ones that usually hit the construction market. Now, during the recession, everybody got in their mind, we got to go to college to get a good paying job. And I know people that have graduated with 4 years of college, and they're making less than our guys that have been here for 1 or 2 years.
Okay.
Because, you work hard. Sometimes you work lots of hours in the summertime, but it's a good paying job.
And that's something very relevant. I mean, we actually talked about that when we were out at the base. Their average median income that's out there is like $60,000 a year.
Right.
I mean, you have good paying jobs. And as far as the challenges that come with the upswing in the economy with the growth, I mean, that does create the opportunities for you. You have a bright future. A&K has a bright future for these projects. Obviously, if you have to, let some go by because of the staffing piece. But if you have those bodies, you'll be in great shape.
Exactly.
So, well, thanks for your comments, Mark.
You betcha.
Best of luck. We love working with you. We look forward to a bright future. And thanks for joining us for Economic Development Week. We'll see you next year.